So PFF put out their AFC power rankings, and I was pleasantly surprised where the New York Jets came in on this list. We'll go through it was a top 10. They didn't include any other teams outside the top 10. And I think you'll be pretty happy with where the Jets find themselves on this list. Really no complaints. My complaints kind of come after the Jets, but we'll get through all of that. Let's start the top and work our way down instead of the reverse order. Coming in at number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Can anyone be surprised that Kansas City, the defending champion, is the number 1 team in the conference? No, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. And coming in at number 2 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, not really much of a surprise there. The Bengals found themselves in the AFC Championship game last year. They made a run to the Super Bowl the year prior. They beat the Bills in the playoffs this past year. They deserve to be the number 2 team in the conference after really for years it was the Buffalo Bills who were right there with the Kansas City Chiefs. Some even put the Bills ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think based on what we saw last year and based on how these teams are loading up, each of those rankings are fine. I have no issue with either one of them. And third is the Buffalo Bills. This is where Buffalo comes in. And I agree. I think they deserve to be, number 1, they deserve to be ahead of the Jets. They deserve to be the favorite in the AFC East. That is not to say that they aren't a beatable team. That is not to say that they haven't, lost some guys in some key areas. And that's not to say that they haven't, in a way, disappointed in the last couple of years by not reaching the Super Bowl or winning a Super Bowl. But I think it's absolutely fair that they come in at number 3. And I do think that there's a world in 2023 where the New York Jets are competitive with them. I do think they have everything that it takes to be competing for an AFC East title. And apparently PFF agrees with me because coming in at number 4, the 4th best team in the AFC, the New York Jets. I love it. The Jets obviously skyrocket up the power rankings after landing Aaron Rodgers and after this draft class. To round out, I'll give you the 5 through 10 real quick and just give you some thoughts. The Chargers at 5, Browns 6, Ravens 7, Dolphins 8, Jaguars 9, Pittsburgh Steelers at 10. So just a couple of thoughts here, honestly, for me. The Jets projecting in this one as the top wild card, which would be the 5, meaning they would play the worst division winner in the first round. I could totally see that happening. Now, I want the New York Jets to win the AFC East. I want them to have a home playoff game, and I'd like them to even get a bye. Probably a tough ask because, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals are, heavy Super Bowl favorites for a reason. Not that the Jets don't have Super Bowl aspirations, and realistic ones they do. Now with Aaron Rodgers, they have a quarterback who can compete with any of these teams. I think that it's their top 4 is absolutely fair. After that is where I start to get some issues. The Chargers, I think, are too high. I would lower them a little bit. The Ravens and Dolphins should be higher. Browns probably shouldn't be on this list. Jaguars should also be higher. And Steelers are a borderline team. I'm not going to get nitpicky over the Steelers, but the Chargers at 5 is way too high, and the Browns at 6 is also way too high. I think the Dolphins are too low. I think the Jags are too low, and I think maybe then the Ravens are okay there, and maybe at best 6. But New York Jets, how about that? Coming in as the 4th ranked team in the AFC. When you include NFC teams, now this is not going off of PFF. This is just off the top of my head. I would think the Philadelphia Eagles will be the number 1 team in the NFC. So I would rank them ahead of the Jets and probably put them 2 ahead of the Bengals. And none of the NFC South teams, none of the NFC North teams, and I would say the 49ers deserve it. Dallas, I don't think you could put them that high just because of, they've underachieved a ton. Every single year they do it time and time again. They have a good roster, but I would put them probably Below the Jets, I'd put the Seahawks also below the Jets. Who are some other good NFC teams? NFC North is wide open, man. I guess Detroit is going to be up there. I think they should be higher than some of these, the bottom of the AFC teams, but not in front of the Jets. So absolute worst case scenario, I think Jets are probably 6th or 7th in overall NFL rankings. Being top 10 in the power rankings is really exciting. I do agree. I do think they should be a top 10 team in the power rankings, but coming in at number 4 in the AFC, all fair. I have no issue with the 3 teams in front of them. That's the exact order that I would do it. I just think I am a little bit lower on the Chargers and Browns and a little bit higher on the Ravens, Dolphins, and Jaguars, but really not a whole lot to complain about from me on that list.